Hey everybody, welcome to your Libra horoscopes for the first week of October and the last full week of Mars being in Libra as well. I'm married to a Libra. It hasn't been pleasant, I can tell you that right now. Hopefully it was a little more pleasant for you guys. Focus is on career. We have Mercury moving into Libra this week, so a whole lot of stuff going on. We're actually going to start with Mercury's opposition with Neptune as it moves into Libra, which is a little bit of a challenge here. Neptune is focused on the mind and how the mind works. Neptune's all about intuition. A lot of our intuition comes through in a first thought process. And a lot of times when you don't take responsibility for your brain and it's just worried about everything, trying to overplan everything, you're blocking that intuition. And that's really the big lesson for the week this week is don't block your intuition. If you're making plans, your intuition really should be a very important part of your plan making process because your intuition is bringing through things that maybe you wouldn't have thought of. It's bringing through things that are necessary for your success. They might be scary things. They might be things that make you go, whoa, I never thought of that in a million years. But they also might be what makes or breaks the process. So it is very important to allow that the space to be able to come through. We also have Mars spending the last week in your sign in a square with Pluto, which at the very end of the week becomes a T-square as the moon moves into opposition with Pluto, which makes it a much bigger challenge. Unfortunately, the moon's focus is on finances. Pluto's focus is on the past. Of course, we still have Mars focused on career here. Money issues are money issues. They're like never gonna go away. If I had a dime for every time I heard somebody say, I wish I had been born independently wealthy without realizing the responsibilities that that entails, money, there's always, every single financial situation has its benefits and it has its drawbacks. We're just gonna put it that way. Obviously, having all the money in the world doesn't solve all your problems. But it's not necessarily about the mental focus of your finances. It has a lot to do with repeating past mistakes. That's where Pluto's focus really is on the past. And the fact that you can't change the past because Pluto is in retrograde, but you can change the decisions that you make now and make sure that you don't follow in the same lines as you did last time. I mean, that is just insanity. Obviously, if it didn't work the first time, the chances of it working again aren't really all that great, you know? So try to avoid doing what you have done before to see if maybe it works this time. And instead, come up with something a little bit different, something that might actually be a little bit more helpful for you this time. I mean, it also may not work, but at least you're not repeating the same mistake twice because that's just frustrating all the way around. Of course, we continue to have that sextile between Mars and Venus, which turns into a grand sextile as the moon moves into a trine with Mars at this time on Thursday. And actually, the day before that, that trine becomes a grand trine because, of course, Mars is also in a trine with Saturn. So we also have a lot of really helpful aspects coming up here. These are really big, heavy hitter, powerful aspects. We still have Mars and Venus working together. Venus is very much focused on your long-term goals. The moon's focus is both on relationships as well as finances. So this is really looking at your relationship to your finances. And your long-term goals should reflect a new relationship to your finances. Continuing to have the same relationship with your finances doesn't change anything. And part of that relationship with your finances has a lot to do with your mindset about money. I hear people say all the time, I just hate money. First of all, it's a thing. It's not, I mean, it's not out to do anything to you necessarily. It's just, it is what it is. But if you hate it, chances are you're not going to draw very much of it to you. So you want to make sure to keep that money door open. You want to make sure to keep that money being drawn to you, draw it to you in some way rather than continuing to fight with it, if that makes sense. A lot of times it's our own mental focus that makes or breaks our financial success. And honestly, if you had complete control over that, which you do, by the way, would you not make a better choice and have a better mental focus and watch it come through easier than it has been in the past? Think about it that way. So that's what I have for you guys this week. Lots of stuff going on for you guys. But, as much as there's challenges, I think there's a lot of really helpful things in there for you too. And you still got one more week of that fantastic Mars energy really being a driving force towards those career goals. So definitely use that to its advantage until he's gone next week. That's what I have for you guys this week. If you love your horoscopes, do click the link in the description and send me a copy. I would really appreciate the support. If you are listening rather than viewing, that's ko-fi.com/heavy metal psychic. Also check out heavymetalpsychic.com. It is changing in a couple of weeks. So you might as well check out what it looks like now so you can be amazed at what it's going to look like in a couple of weeks. I'm Melissa Bruce, Heavy Metal Psychic. Thank you so much for hanging out and watching, and I will see you guys next week. And in the meantime, get that money, guys. Make it a great week. I'll see you next week.